Hi, my name is Andrea Moscato, and I'm here with my cousin Chris Krieger, CEO of Western New York Heroes. Chris, how did your company come about and what motivated you?
So, Western New York Heroes came about in 2007 after I returned home from Iraq. Due to my own injuries, in and out of the hospital a lot, I was told that I would receive temporary 100% disability because my worry was keeping a roof over our head, food on the table for my family, and how was I going to do that? Long story short, I was denied my temporary 100% and lost everything that we call the American dream today.
Okay. Describe the outline of the typical day as a CEO.
Typical day of a CEO. I get up in the morning, light the joint, right? We all do that I'm just kidding. There really is no typical day, I guess. Here at Western New York Heroes, we have to be able and be willing to adapt differently every day. We never know what the next phone call is going to be or the next individual coming through the doors seeking help. So us doing this for the last 11 years, I've always told everybody we have to be able to adapt every day to what's going to be coming to us next. So that's kind of a hard question to ask because we have to be very flexible and be very willing to change on the fly.
Okay. And then, like with this organization, is there like a special attire that you have to wear every day? Or?
No. So as you can see, right, I don't dress up. I'm not a man of a suit. I don't like wearing the ties. In the military, asking for help is a sign of weakness, and they teach you in the military that if you ask for help, you're weak. So veterans today have a hard time asking for the help. And when they finally get up the courage to ask for the assistance and they walk in here, the last thing we want them to do is to now feel belittled or humiliated because they have to sit in front of somebody with a suit and tie, or they have to sit in front of a female who's, dressed in business attire. We don't want to make them feel awkward as they already feel awkward asking for the help. So here we want them to feel like family and that we do care and it's okay. Our attitude here is we are no better than you. So we're going to keep that attitude and we're going to address the same issue.
Okay. How many staff members do you have?
Currently we have 5. So a lot of people will call us or stop in and visit, and they expect to see a staff of 100. But there's only 5 of us that have been doing this. We are, with a new business plan coming up at the end of this month, we are expanding, opening up 2 new offices. But right now, primarily, when you reach out to our office, you're going to talk to 1 of 5 people here.
Okay. What are some accomplishments you've had within this company?
I don't ever refer to anything as my accomplishment because it takes a team to make us successful.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the accomplishments of Western New York Heroes, the biggest one I would have to say is gaining the trust and the support in the community. So being a nonprofit and starting this grassroots, the struggles were when you start reaching out to people, nobody knows who you are and how are you going to get them to support you. So it's almost kind of like a salesperson's position. I got to sell you on the idea of Western New York Heroes and why it's important to support us over another veterans group. And we've been very successful at that because we work as a team. And again, it takes a team to get us to where we have to be.
Okay. I would say, explain what, programs or what you have to offer to vets that do come to you. You have a dog service, correct?
Yeah, so our primary function, our primary mission to Western New York Heroes is Bridging Hearts. Mm-hmm. So Bridging Hearts is a financial program. It's a grant that we offer men and women who served in our military. And again, it's just that, it's grants. They're not loans. We don't get involved with loans. We don't want to go after somebody legally because they didn't pay the loan back. So it's grants that we give a veteran to help them with their mortgage, their rent, or their utilities. And we'll cover up to 4 months worth for them.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was only a month. And because we keep expanding and growing, we're able to do more and more. But the primary function of Western New York Heroes is the financial assistance.
Okay. Perfect. Where do you get the great ideas from in your organization?
Now, again, as we continue to grow, it's a combination of the team coming up with different ideas, different ways to serve our veteran community, to be flexible with the veterans in the community. In the beginning, when we first opened and started, everything was based off my experience and the experience and life of my children. Perfect example, our one program, Western New York Kids Are Heroes 2, was a program that we started in 2012, designed to assist children of military so that they can take whatever extracurricular activity he or she wants for the year, and it's free. Where before this started, my kids, 2 boys at the time, as you know, always coming to me and saying, "Dad, I want to play football, I want to play baseball, I want to play hockey." And the answer was always no, because I didn't have the money. I was living on a very small income, if that, and had to worry about paying the rent at the time because we lost the house, and paying the utilities. I didn't want that to continue happening. So then we developed that program, which has kicked off and has blossomed and continues to grow. And the camp alone that we send children of military to, we just gave them another $17,000 last month so that the children can go for free, no cost to the family.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are you doing to ensure you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
I always I let everybody in staff, my board of directors on down. I will never claim to know it all. I'm always open to ideas. Matter of fact, this morning I got pulled into our program coordinator's office and I wouldn't say challenged on a specific rule, but I've always told them, if you feel differently, pitch it to me. Sell it to me and get me to buy into it, which is what happened this morning. So there'll be a change to that particular incident this morning. But I think we only continue to grow if you remain open-minded. Communication is huge, and making people who are involved currently, making them feel like they have a say and they have ownership in this.
Okay. How do you like get connected with people outside of this organization, like social media wise?
So the marketing of the organization is huge. You only become better known if you're good at marketing what you're doing.
Okay.
So, we have our TV commercials out there. We have the spots on the back of the Metro buses. You hear us quite a bit on the radio with different events. It's all about the social media. Social media today is huge. I think it's bigger today than it's ever been. So you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's getting us out there. It's physically being in the community and going around to different businesses and letting them know this is who we are and would you be willing to get involved. Today, you never know. It could be your family member, it could be your neighbor, it could be your best friend that we end up helping, and we're able to help them because of your donation you made to us today.
I also saw at Jim's Stakeout, like when you're drunk, late at night, you go to Jim's after a night out, and
Sure.
I always see Western New York's the little donation on the side of their cashier.
Yeah, Jim's Stakeout is a big supporter of ours. Dun Tire, another big supporter, More for Kids, which is a foundation. So it continues to grow and grow and grow. I mean, we have Independent Health and the New York State Police and the county sheriffs, and it grows.
It's like all connected.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. How do you find people to bring into your organization that truly care about the organization the way that you do?
Staff-wise, we try to make sure that everybody who comes in to the organization that we're going to bring on staff is veteran. I just don't believe that if you aren't a veteran, not that if you're not a veteran you don't care, because that wouldn't be right. I'm sure non-veterans, people, civilians, they care about what's going on, but I still don't believe you're going to get that love and support that you would if your staff is veteran.
Okay.
You have your veterans, you have your combat veterans. Your combat veterans are going to understand it even more so But we also say, too, that you wore the uniform. So as long as you wore the uniform, you understand a lot more than the civilian.
This is not a random question, but I guess this is a question that I'm kind of curious, because you are family. Because you are a CEO of this organization, how do your kids feel about, you know, you being like an entrepreneur, and how do they look up to you?
You know what? Because I do have kids, it is tough at times. There's a lot of times where even they get exhausted because I'm not home again, because we have something else going on. Being the president, CEO, it takes a lot of time. I know when we were talking yesterday, I had stated that in order to do this, in order to make it grow and be successful, you have to be willing to give up your life. You have to put your heart and soul into this, and there's a lot of emotion in this, and mentally it wears down on you. You become tired, but you always find that reason to get up the next morning and continue driving on. The kids, they love it. I try to get them involved with a lot of our programs, especially our Adopt a Veteran family program in December. They love to come and hand out gifts to the families that we adopt. In the summer, we get a lot of events going where the kids can get involved. I've taken my kids scuba diving. They've gone kayaking. And so I always try to make sure that they stay involved as well, so that as we grow and as we get bigger, they understand, you know, why it's taking more and more of my time. And they seem to be doing all right with it.
Awesome. What is the best way to achieve long-term success?
Stay off drugs, stay in school. Make sure you surround yourself with individuals that have the same goal in mind. I think if you try to start bringing in people with a different mindset, maybe after they've been with you for a while, they feel that we need to start steering right or steering left when your vision is straight forward down the end of the road. You should be all right then. Just keep in mind your mission, your goal, and surround yourself with those who have the same vision.
Okay. What would you say are the top 3 skills needed to be successful in life?
Communication. Always be willing to be somewhat adventurous, you know, and I guess staying open-minded. Again, remembering the fact that I think once you sit back and say, I know it all, I know that there's nothing you're going to teach me or tell me, is when your failure is going to start to set in.
Okay. What 3 pieces of advice would you give to college students who want to become entrepreneurs?
Make sure you're willing to give up your life. If you're truly dedicated to the fact of wanting to become an entrepreneur, you got to keep in mind that relationships can get ruined. You know, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, maybe they want more time from you, but you know that in order to be successful, you got to put more time into your career right now. Sometimes those are hard choices to make, and it's that choice you make that can decide whether you're successful or a failure.
Okay. How many hours do you work a day on average?
A day on average? Well, you figure my day starts at 5 a.m. And for many, many of those days, you know, we could be here in the office all day, and then all of a sudden we have an event later tonight. So there's been days, without exaggeration, my day starts at 5 a.m. and it doesn't end till 1 a.m. You know, and then I go home, go to sleep for a couple hours, and go right back at it. We have days where, you know, we've had 5 events in one day. We have to try and make them all. It's all about being out in the community, making sure everybody knows that you appreciate their love and support. That seems to be the big thing. As long as you show your appreciation to your customers and let them know that your success is because of them, you'll do fine. You'll continue to grow and grow and grow.
Okay. What type of events are you talking about?
So we do everything from beer events, like the Buffalo on Tap.
Okay.
We do golf tournaments. We do concerts. You name it. Our events aren't 9 to 5 like people think. People do events in the evenings and the weekends. And for many of them, they don't understand that every day, Monday through Friday, for us is in the office or out on the road traveling, making community partners. But then you get that person that says, well, our event starts at 5 and it's over at midnight, and we would like you there. Well, you don't understand. I've been up since 5 a.m.
Right.
But it goes right back to, if I don't, then they're going to feel unappreciated, and we could lose their support next time. You know, and it's not worth it. If we're going to continue to go down the road we're going, and we want to continue to expand and grow the way we're expanding, I have to be willing to put that time into it. And even if it's 10 minutes to show up and say thank you, is better than no minutes and not showing up to say thank you.
Right. Do you guys have anything coming up that's kind of like very important, or something that's interesting that's coming up in the organization?
Well, for May, next month coming up, because of Memorial Day in May, we start launching our stars, our hero stars, which you'll find like at Northwest Bank, all their branches, all the Dunn Tire branches, Jim's Steakout, things like that, where they, you know, you walk in to buy a sub and they ask you if you'd like to make a $1 donation, put your name on the star, and they hang it up on the wall. So that's an all month long thing in May. But I know we have our 2-day concert coming up June 1st and 2nd in Leroy. It's called the American Warrior Festival. It's free to veterans. You know, that same weekend we have another concert going on in town of Tonawanda, and we have the 12 Gates Brewing.
Okay.
Right, we have their event that weekend too. So as you can
There's
see,
a lot
just
going on.
I have a lot I have to try and spread out and attend in 2 days and make an appearance everywhere.
So how do you organize that then?
Volunteers. We have a very large volunteer base.
Okay.
So everyone who's putting on an event for us wants us to also put a booth up or a table, bring all of our product, sell it, get it out there. And we appreciate that, because that's a huge help too for us. But we have to keep in mind, volunteers are just that, they're volunteers.
Right.
So they're not being paid to attend, and if they have a family event coming up, or maybe they have to work, I can't really expect somebody to take $1 out of their pocket, not go to work because they have to volunteer. So on a volunteer basis, it can be tough, you know, because you have to keep in mind it's just volunteer.
Okay.
You know, they agree to do this because it's fun, they want to do it, they love the organization, they want to stay involved. And when it comes down to deciding a volunteer event or going to work or doing something with my family, you can pretty much count on they're going to go to work or do something with their family.
Okay, awesome. Would you like to share with the class, like, this wall over here, like what that actually is?
This? Or
Well, yeah, we
this?
could say this, and we could say that as well, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll let Dan zoom in. That is Operation Boots. So Operation Boots, I'll come over here. Operation Boots is one of our programs where we take the veterans, it's free to the veterans, and they just have to show up. We pay for everything. So the Operation Boots is kind of like a peer-to-peer support program for the veterans. We've taken them scuba diving, as you can see. We've taken them to painting with a twist. That is a family event. They can bring their family. The Buffalo Pedal Tours. We've even gone as, you know, sledding, Chestnut Ridge. The fishing excursion that we do on Lake Erie, which is coming up again in June. We've taken them to Buffalo Bandits games and Bills games and Sabres games. It's all free to them. They just have to show up and be willing to have a good time.
Awesome.
Then the Positive for Heroes program, which is our service dog program. That's where we give service dogs to local veterans who are referred to the program by their doctor for a service dog. So you can't just walk in and ask for a service dog. You have to be medically referred to our program.
Okay.
And then the Operation Automotive over here on this side of the board is a program that we launched and started where we give vehicles away for free to veterans who need transportation.
Awesome.
So there's This one here is a little bit more stringent. There's more components to this. Like, we won't give anyone a car who has more than one car already. We won't give anyone a car who's had their current car repossessed. If you have, you know, if you've ever been arrested for DWI, things like that, we won't give you a car.
Okay.
So this is pretty much, over here we have the backpack program, where every summer we start to gather up brand new backpacks and school supplies for the kids, because as you know, especially in college, school supplies can become very expensive. So we try to help offset that by giving the families brand new backpacks and basically a startup packet for school: the crayons, the markers, the highlighters, the paper, the ruler, crayons, things like that. And, you know, try to offset as much of it as we can.